Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're zeroing in on a critical, though honestly sometimes overlooked part of the healthcare system, non-emergency medical transportation, or NEMT. For patients heading to dialysis, physical therapy, or even just routine checkups, reliable transport isn't just a nice-to-have, it's literally a vital part of their care plan. But man, behind the scenes, pulling off these fast, reliable, and cost-effective rides takes a massive amount of coordination. Every single day, transportation providers are jumping over huge operational hurdles just trying to match patients with the right vehicles and drivers on time. So today, we're going to explore how a dedicated dispatch software solution takes all those complex, everyday logistical headaches and completely transforms them into a smooth digital operation.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's a quick look at our roadmap. First up, the NMT challenge. Then we'll look at the digital solution, walk through the exact operational workflow, and unpack some of the key capabilities. After that, we'll see how this impacts daily operations, and finally, we'll wrap up with the overarching business value. Let's get started.
All right, Section 1, the NMET challenge, operational friction in healthcare transport.
As healthcare demands just keep growing, relying on manual scheduling, endless phone calls, and, paper logs, it creates some serious operational friction. It's just getting way too complex to handle by hand. To really grasp the problem, just ask yourself, what happens to your manual dispatching system during peak hours? Well, the reality is it inevitably breaks down, right? When a huge wave of simultaneous trip requests comes flooding in from different clinics and hospitals, dispatchers stuck using manual methods get completely overwhelmed. The endless back-and-forth phone calls create major bottlenecks, patients end up sitting around waiting, and your fleet efficiency just tanks. The old-school way of doing things absolutely cannot scale when you get those sudden spikes in demand.
Which brings us to Section 2, Understanding the Dispatch Solution, the Central Hub. To completely eliminate that peak hour chaos we just talked about, providers are turning to technology specifically built to act as a central, unified hub for their whole operation. So let's define exactly what that is. NEMT dispatch software is basically a cloud-based hub that completely digitizes the medical transportation process. It's designed to pull everything, scheduling, dispatching, fleet management, and client management all under one roof. The whole point of this software is to help providers deliver fast, reliable, and cost-effective services. By ditching those fragmented, paper-heavy systems for a solid cloud solution, your business can seamlessly process requests from healthcare providers and optimize your entire fleet network from just one single screen. It's a real game changer. Let's move to Section 3, the NEMT operational workflow, step by step. Now, the digital lifecycle of a patient trip actually flows beautifully through 6 simple steps. First up, trip booking. A hospital or clinic submits a request directly through their own digital panel, so absolutely no phone calls required. Step 2 is scheduling, where the trip is logged for right now or maybe a future date. Then, Step 3 is driver assignment. This can happen manually, or the system can automatically handle it based on who is close by and available. In Step 4, vehicle dispatch, the driver gets all the trip details beamed instantly to their mobile app. During Step 5, real-time monitoring, both the dispatcher and the healthcare provider can actually track the vehicle on a live GPS map. And finally, Step 6 is trip completion. The driver securely grabs a digital signature right on their device, officially closing out the job. Smooth and simple.
Moving right along to Section 4, Key Software Capabilities, Connecting the Stakeholders.
So how does the tech actually make that 6-step workflow happen? Well, instead of forcing everyone to use the exact same clunky interface, the software gives each stakeholder a customized dashboard tailored to what they actually need to see. The admin gets this really robust dispatch module and analytics to run the whole show. The driver, they get a native app with route navigation and a super important built-in SOS button. The provider, like a hospital, gets a dedicated booking dashboard to easily manage their patients' rides. And the patient gets simple SMS alerts and a live tracking URL so they stay in the loop without even having to download an app. This is brilliant because everyone stays perfectly connected, but all the complicated operational stuff is hidden away behind these really clean, tailored interfaces.
Now, with all this digital connectivity, we absolutely have to talk about data security. In healthcare, protecting sensitive info is not optional, right? The software is built from the ground up with complete HIPAA compliance. That means patient privacy is strictly locked down before, during, and after every single trip. All that info floating between providers, drivers, and patients is kept tightly secured inside the system. If you're an NEMT business owner, this is absolutely crucial. It directly protects you by shielding your operation from some pretty severe compliance risks and privacy violations. Let's compare the old way to the new way. Manual dispatching really relies heavily on human guesswork.
You've got dispatchers mentally juggling which driver is where and who might be available. But an automated NEMT dispatch module completely flips the script. You can set custom automation rules that instantly assign incoming trips based on a driver's exact, real-time availability and GPS location. It handles massive volumes of requests in the blink of an eye, turning what used to be a frantic guessing game into a perfectly calculated science.
All right, Section 5, Improving Daily Operations, from the floor to the fleet.
We've talked a lot about the high-level workflow, but how does this actually play out during a crazy busy shift? Well, the daily operational improvements are massive. Out on the road, drivers navigate flawlessly using integrated Google Maps, making pickups and drop-offs a total breeze. Back at the office, admins aren't just tracking where vehicles are, they're monitoring availability and even maintenance schedules. On the financial side, digital invoicing automatically generates bills for hospital clients, which massively streamlines getting paid. And of course, that in-app SOS button is always there to ensure patient and driver safety. Now, if you're worrying about the learning curve, don't stress. The driver app is so intuitive that providers consistently report their drivers getting entirely comfortable with it within just their first few shifts, zero extensive training required.
Now, you might be wondering, how do we handle diverse patient mobility needs? After all, not every patient could just hop into a standard sedan. Well, the software handles this beautifully by letting you manage multiple vehicle categories right in the system. Healthcare providers can specifically request the exact right vehicle, whether that's a full ambulance, a wheelchair-accessible van, or just a regular car, at the exact moment they book the trip. Plus, admins can set up custom pricing rules based on the vehicle category, the distance, and the time. It just guarantees the right ride gets to the right patient every single time with the right billing attached.
And finally, Section 6, Business Value and Summary, the big picture. Let's zoom out for a second. Implementing this kind of cloud-based central hub fundamentally transforms your business and, yes, your bottom line. You get way better resource utilization and total fleet control, meaning you are squeezing the absolute most value out of every single vehicle and driver. You also see a massive boost in service efficiency and reliability. And let me tell you, that builds serious trust with caregivers who need to know their patients will show up on time. Going digital also directly enhances your ROI and cuts down operational costs by slashing all those manual inefficiencies. Finally, thanks to the reporting and analytics, you can start making real, data-driven decisions. You can spot driver performance gaps, track completion rates, and basically replace daily guesswork with hard numbers.
So the crucial point is this. To meet the skyrocketing demand from healthcare providers for reliable medical transport, scaling up through pure manual labor just isn't going to cut it anymore. Digital transformation, equipping your team with a robust, integrated software hub, is absolutely essential for modern healthcare mobility. Honestly, it's the only way to deliver the fast, reliable, and secure experience that patients and caregivers demand today.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your current systems. Is your NEMT operation fully equipped to handle the future demands of healthcare transportation? Or are old manual processes holding back your fleet's true potential? Understanding how dispatch software centralizes and automates everything is the very first step toward a much more efficient, scalable future. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer, and keep learning.